off all these siege tanks now. Those drones really desperately trying to run for their lives. There's Wednesday Night
vVv Gaming
around the bases, perhaps wanting to be able to get off a lot of drops. There are a lot of bases here, and Metavacs with 3 upgraded Marines, 1 at each base, is an absolute nightmare for Protoss players. Also, Rocker did give a word of warning to you and I, or you and me. Is it you and me or you? Anyways, just basically saying, watch out, Binsky flies, and we're going to have to keep track of a lot of the things that he's doing simultaneously.
Yeah, maybe we'll check the APM as the game gets going here. As opening up, we do have vVv Rocker spawning as the purple Protoss, the pretty purple Protoss, in the southwest position. And in the northeast position, we do have his Terran opponent, Binsky, spawning up here as the blue-colored Terran player. So we're going to have full cross positions here, diagonals. So it's going to be quite a ways to your opponent's base as the two players chatting a little bit. They seem pretty friendly in the opening chat as well.
Yeah, so apparently that was Rocker's original name, and Binsky just happened to know it. So there it is, as we now see a supply depot going up on the front door. I'm expecting both of these players to be aggressive with their expanding, but not nearly as aggressive, say, in a Protoss versus Zerg. I would be absolutely shocked if Rocker did go for a Forge fast expand against a Terran player on Shakura's Plateau. But then again, we'll see what exactly Binsky does. Terran players generally like to go bio with Vikings, Metavacs, and Ghosts now against Protoss, as Marines are very powerful, small units with high DPS, as long as you can control their counters. If you can neutralize those Colossi, neutralize those high Templars, then Marines are a very deadly unit for their size and are just so easily replaced.
Yeah, you mentioned we won't be seeing a Forge fast expand in this matchup, but one thing that we often see in this matchup is just a single gate and single racks expand. So both players are going to try to get some information here. They want to see, or Rocker wants to see, whether Binsky gets gas and whether he's going to be going for a tech lab and some sort of quick tech, or whether he's just going to go for a single racks and get down a fast command center. That command center could be in the main, could be at the natural. So Rocker sent out a decently early scout, and he will be in the main here of Binsky. He's going to see no gas so far, and that's going to mean that he's got to be on the lookout for that fast expansion, and he's either got to punish it with an aggressive play or take an expansion himself.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see from Rocker is Rocker's going to try to take an expansion for himself. He still needs to get that early gas just for the Cybernex core. You want to get that Warp Gate tech as quickly as possible, as it does speed up the training of all of your units by a decent 10 seconds. What you're going to see from Binsky is he's going to set up his command center down here at the natural expansion, and then he's going to go for 2 to perhaps 3 additional barracks and get some bunkers. He's going to really delay his gas as long as possible, and at the same time, Binsky is also setting up an engineering bay at the natural expansion to harass Rocker, so Rocker's own Nexus will be delayed for quite a while.
Yeah, and Rocker could actually, grab a second gas here, go for an aggressive play, instead try to punish this, but I think he might just try to take down that engineering bay with his first Zealot, which is about to come out, but we'll see what he goes for here. If he throws down some sort of tech like robotics at this point, or if he throws down another gas, he might not be going for a fast expand, but if he comes out with another unit, it looks like it is a Stalker coming out, he might just try to focus down this engineering bay and expand himself.
Yeah, right now Rocker is in a bit of trouble, but it looks like he may be trying to go into 3 gateways, perhaps even a 4th, and he's going to be charging up a ramp with bunkers. As long as Binsky gets a second bunker, he should be fine. Only 1 bunker, that may spell problems, as the SCVs are not going to be able to get over in time to start repairing that bunker. It's not the bunker itself that is the real issue or the real problem when trying to attack a Terran base. It's the SCVs repairing it, giving it almost an infinite amount of life if you can't deal damage fast enough.
Yeah, and if you don't have, a big bunker busting unit like an Immortal, it helps to have a few sentries out. They can get force fields to prevent those SCVs from getting repairs. So We'll see whether Rocker goes for a sentry or two with his first few warp-ins. Again, he's just working off of the one assimilator at this point, so he is controlling the map decently well. I believe he's taken down one scouting SCV besides the initial one, and he has set up a forward pylon, so his fourth warp gate does now finish. He's got some room under the supply cap to warp in some units. We'll see, looks like it's going to be a lot of stalkers here, so high DPS and a zealot, and now he's going for the front door of Binsky.
Yeah, and that was really critical that Rocker was actually able to take down this charging SCV, but now Binsky is going for that second bunker. The Stalkers are now trying to make their way up, and now Zealots are joining in, but no, not going to be enough as the SCVs are already over to repair. This is not looking good. The Stalkers are now dealing damage to the SCVs, but there's simply too many Marines here as the Stalkers are trying to test that front door. Binsky is going to be able to easily defend, perhaps getting a couple Marines into that second bunker, and we may not even see a single medevac in this game as Rocker is really putting all his eggs in one basket.
Yeah, he's going for this 4-gate. He's going to try to get past the bunkers here, focus down SCVs, because he has not expanded behind this. He is scooting and shooting with these Stalkers, trying to, again, get away from those bunkers. Without Stim, the Stalkers do have an advantage with range and DPS over those Marines, so Rocker is going to try to do as much damage as possible. Binsky being really smart here, keeping those Marines in the bunker. That's going to prevent any units from getting a free pass up this ramp. And yes, he does have these Stalkers wrecking havoc in his natural, but he is going to be able to take down this forward pylon, and I'm not sure that Rocker's going to be able to get up this ramp safely with any additional units.
Yeah, Zealots are now trying to make their way in once more, and the Stalkers are now up on the high ground. The supply depots are preventing any more units from being trained as a Zealot was able to make its way in, but the Stalkers were not focusing on any one particular supply depot, and that's an issue as we're now at 41/38. Marines are now coming outside the bunker. The Stalkers now coming back around. SCVs trying to run as the Stalkers are now attempting to run away as well, and that was a rather strange engagement as we'll see how both of these players are going to go at it once more. You can see that Rocker currently has a slightly larger gas army, and now he's going to be pressing with sentries in addition to his Stalkers.
But he's supply blocked at the moment. He's got no pylons coming, so he's not going to be coming with any more units than this. He is throwing down an expansion. If we check the units lost, it is 1,800 for Rocker, only 700 for Binsky. They're even on workers, but again, Binsky does have that natural, so his workers are spread over 2 sets of mineral patches, and then more importantly, he's got double mules. So Stim just finishing now for Binsky as well. Any sort of aggression from Rocker from this point forward, until he gets some sort of tech, is going to be shut down.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll see what's going to happen as sentries are now still being added to this group. Guardian Shield definitely needs to be used in this next engagement, but the Marines with Stim are going to neutralize that Guardian Shield in just a moment as we now see Rocker also setting up a proxy pylon down on the bottom right-hand side of the map. We'll see if that's ever going to come into play as the sentries and Zealots are going to charge up this ramp in just a moment, only to see bunkers, marauders, and Marines firing back at them.
And those Marines and Marauders and the ones inside the bunkers there as well have Stim. So without any upgrades, without any higher tech, Stim Marines and Marauders just chew through gateway units. We do see that the Nexus just now finishing up for Rocker, and he's going for upgrades on with the Forge here. He's getting armor first, but again, he doesn't really have any sort of tech above that. He's going for a Twilight Council as well. I feel like Rocker is quite behind in this game.
Yeah, we'll see how he's going to be able to get back into this game, what crazy maneuvers he can try to go for. He could try to double expand, but then he's just going to open himself up to the medevac drops that are coming, or that will be coming in just a moment. Double medevacs now being trained. Taking a look, I don't see, no, there is an engineering bay now getting the level 1 weapons upgrade currently going, as Binsky should be trying to build a third command center in just a moment, and then perhaps expanding either to the center location or to this location down over here at the 3 o'clock. But what is this? Rocker expanding at the 4 o'clock starting location. What do you make of this?
Yeah, hidden expansion. I think this is actually a smart move. He's behind in armies, behind in economies, behind in tech even. So at this point, you're behind. You have to take some sort of risk. You can't play a straight up game and hope to win. So he is expanding here. We'll see if he cancels this as the bioforce of Binsky looking quite strong, pushing out here with the first few medevacs. So I'm not sure that Rocker is going to have too much to defend. His armor level 1 is going to be finished, and his Dark Shrine is going to be about halfway done by the time this big Bioforce hits. So I'm not sure that Rocker's going to survive this one. If he does and he's able to get up this third base, then he could come back in this game.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll see what's going to happen. The two medevacs looking to back off and then perhaps do a drop along the backside as the probes are going to be completely vulnerable to this drop. A factory now landing off at what he expects to be the third base location, and now there's going to be a knock on the front door and a knock on the back door. How much damage will be dealt, how many probes will be lost as the Stalkers now making their way over. The Sentry quickly and smartly lays down 2 force fields, but I think it may be large enough to squeeze in some units. Yes, Marauders now coming in one at a time as the Stalkers are unable to really do anything at all, and Rocker may end up having to say GG here as the army units are simply too much.
Yeah, that was a peculiar strategy coming out from Rocker with almost a delayed 4-gate. That engineering bay totally threw off his plan to fast expand. He didn't commit his units to taking it down and getting a late expansion. Instead, he went for that aggression, and he just wasn't able to make it pay off, and Binsky had an easy win from there. And Binsky played pretty solid there, defending against that. He added bunkers at the right time. He even added that missile turret. So if DTs, any sort of cloak play came, he wasn't going to lose to that. So played nice and safe, was able to defend against that early attack, and he won the game from there.